It being 7:00, I will call the select board meeting for December 3rd, 2025 to order. First up is Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next on the agenda is public comment. Is anyone here for public comment?
Dustin Worker.
Oh, sit down, please, and then state.
I want to give you guys some tables first. Well, I'll leave yours here for you. Dustin Whitaker, town employee. So in the past 2 weeks, I've had quite a bit of feedback from the public. One of the biggest questions I've had in the past 2 weeks is, what was this report that you mentioned? This report that I mentioned was the John Powell report. March of 2025, the town hired a private consulting firm, John Powell Consulting, to do an investigation into the fire department. I believe it's the culture and management of the fire department. That report was completed, issued. I requested a copy of that report. The town denied that request. I appealed it to the Secretary of State's office. In June, the Secretary of State's office ordered the town to give it to me. The town still refused. I appealed it again in July of 2025. The Secretary of State's office once again issued an order for the town to give me that report. That still hasn't been produced. It is my belief, I have read the report. I don't have a hands-on copy of the report, but that report highlights the mismanagement of the department. So well before 2 weeks ago, and I was up here 2 weeks ago, everybody in this room knew that the department was mismanaged. I don't know why the town still won't release that report. Like I said, that's the only thing I can come up with. Mismanagement of the department, lack of policies in the department. 6 months later, not a single thing has changed. It's still mismanaged. There's still no policies in the department. Outside of that, so you all know the department's mismanaged by that report. It's an independent consultant report. Even outside of that, I know you guys are aware of the ethics investigations. Those 3 ethics charges that the chief was convicted of. Once that press release is sent out, I will be sure to give it to you guys personally. Outside of that issue, couple of years ago, there was a wrongful termination lawsuit that was lost by the town for the chief terminating a active military.
Excuse me,
guy.
Mr. Ward,
Yeah.
at what point,
It's public comment.
no, there's still rules to it though, right? So at what point does
Like
the
defamation.
concerns that Mr. Whitaker has regarding an employee who does not report to the select board, at what point? Because I understand your concerns wholeheartedly, but this seems to be very similar to a previous public comment where it involved an employee who did not report to the select board, and we were advised to go through the proper channel of who.
What's the proper channel then? Because I've gone through every channel and I get zero response. Zero response. Zero response from you guys, zero response from him. Town council, zero response from anybody. What's the proper channels?
But if they're to the board, to the chair, if there are personnel matters, they are not going to be released to an individual firefighter. So they will not get a response to information of HR or personnel cases that we're dealing with. So
That order says that it's not a personnel issue. The order says it would be detrimental to the public safety and firefighter safety if the report was issued. That's town council's response.
Just excuse me for 1 second though. So I'm not
Yeah.
referring to the power report simply when things are being brought up about previous personnel matters that fall under the chief.
Mhm.
Where does the select board fit into that? Because my understanding is the chief reports to the town administrator, So
Right, and the members of that department report to the chief. So this should not be public forum for personnel matters. So
And just for clarity on public comment for this, or it's not a dialogue.
I understand.
People are given feedback. So if there's any question as to why people are not responding from this seat, public comment by law is designed to be a dialogue for citizens to give feedback.
I understand that.
You're not on the agenda.
I understand that.
I'm just clarifying it for everyone
Okay.
who's giving you feedback.
Outside of that, I get no response from anybody, even outside of public comment. I've asked
Perhaps for the reasons that were stated.
even on, there's no issue gets an answer. Not even an answer, not even nothing, not a response, nothing.
Is your public comment over?
Well, I interrupted. I did it. I interrupted it because I don't understand where we fit into, if there was a previous situation of a wrongful termination, I don't understand where one, if that is something that should be discussed under public comment, being that it is a personnel matter, and where we fit into this, because I think I understand that the emails that come through, you know, where who's should be responding to them, who shouldn't be responding to them, just because we're CC'd on it. I don't think that it's within our purview to be handling concerns of an employee to their.
Nobody responds to them.
Madam Chairman.
Nobody.
I think you have to understand, Dustin, there is a process. And,
Nobody answers the
and the
process.
process, you know, when you say no one's responding to you, I don't think anybody's ignoring the situation, but there are certain limits to what can be brought into public arena. So you have to go through those processes, and a lot of it becomes legal.
Even
Now, when it
outside of
becomes
the-
legal, there are certain barriers that prevent this board from divulging anything. So when you say you're not getting answers from Michael, or you're not getting it from the town solicitor or the board of selectmen, no one is deliberately ignoring the concerns. We have concerns about a lot of different things, but you don't publicly come out and you know, there's a process to discuss these things. So I know your frustration, and
If there's a
Yes,
process,
too, but
if there's a process, I brought up another issue, which is the district attorney's report with a theft in the fire department. I asked questions. Where do we stand with this? No response. No response. The
But-
DA has issued their
I
report.
think I just said that.
Yeah,
There-
for
there
the
are
same
legal
reason.
procedures. I mean, and
We don't
legal
just-
things that go on.
So even outside of personnel, I say, why is there such double standards in the fire department? Why does Stephen Lutz get to steal from somebody under the DA's?
But see,
No, that's.
It's public record.
you
It's
can't
public
make those
record.
accusations.
Yeah.
You
It's
can't
public
now.
record. You guys can get the report. I have the report. It's public record. We've got guys on admin leave for an allegation. One just cost $44,000 in payroll and overtime. I'm on admin leave right now. $4,000 a week it's costing the town because I hurt the chief's feelings. Didn't violate a policy.
Okay, we're not discussing what you're under investigation for or anybody else.
So why is there such double standards in the firehouse? Why is there such double standards?
You can state that you feel like that is, but we're not discussing. it.
Okay, we have a district attorney's report. That gentleman's not on admin leave. Why?
You're saying it's a public record. Where's the public record? I don't have that.
Get it from the DA. I got it from the DA. I'll forward it over to you.
If you have that.
And
The
again,
police chief had it.
the fire chief is the head of that department who deals with these personnel matters. So if
It's his son. It's his son that's. He can't deal with this.
this isn't the forum to deal with it, though.
What is that? We've been kicking this can down the street for years.
Yeah.
And you guys don't do anything about it. You don't even answer emails, not only from me, from everybody.
I think everything that is kind of being brought forth, there are legal connections to it. So I don't,
There's not.
there is.
What's the legal connection to the power report? It highlights mismanagement.
The town solicitor had provided a response, then you went through the attorney general. The attorney general provided their finding, but So it's still wherever that is, it's not with this board. I mean, that's the town solicitor and that's it. So there's still some legal connections
So
to
you're gonna
this.
say it's legal connections. It's just beating around the bush. You guys don't
It's
want.
not, you just, you want to pick and choose what you want to bring forth and what you don't want to receive as a response, but that's the reality of it. I mean, it's you, as an employees, you all have protection from the public. If, you know, we can't have someone coming up to us at public comment and disparaging you or any of the other employees down there, because this is just isn't the proper forum for it. It's not that anybody's trying to hide from it. That's your, you know, no different than being a teacher. People can't go to the school committee and raise concerns about me as a teacher because there are proper channels and there's a legal that
Proper
was,
channels have been met though.
huh?
That's the thing. Though.
In your opinion, just because you're not getting what you feel you
I went through
deserve.
the proper channels with that, did I not?
Yeah, I mean, you brought it to the state and then the state came back to town council. I don't know where that rests because it's
It rests right there. The state has ordered the town twice to produce that record.
correct. And I
Okay,
don't
we
know
will-
why
we will
or where
re-
that is.
If you just gave it to us, we will review it.
You guys have it.
We will
It's
review
been
it.
sent to Mike.
Okay.
Mike was on the email.
Number one, we can't answer for the solicitor.
Yeah.
No,
It's a-
no.
It's
You know, I
People
mean,
aren't here to speak for themselves, and so.
I am not saying your concerns about the response time are unfounded. I'm not saying that
or not valid.
or not valid. Yeah, exactly.
There's no response.
Again, but like you're coming to us for it, but it doesn't rest with us. It rests with the town solicitor. Like that's like there's a legal side of it. We're not, you know, we get the legal advisement from the town solicitor, no different than
If
any
something
other-
happens to one of the firefighters, you guys all know about this. You guys are personally liable. It's
Oh,
gross
no.
negligence.
Oh, know about what?
You know about the
Okay.
power report.
Yeah, yes, I did. And I'm not really sure, you know, you're making comments about the report that that are not spelled out in that report. That's what you're inferring from what was there. That's not,
Then why can't we release it?
again, you would have to speak to the town solicitor. I know there's the, you know, the chicken and the egg or whatever you want to call it, but you know, you're taking what your perception of that report is. And unfortunately, you know, there's different ways of looking at that. And at the end, it's the town solicitor they're going to advise what the town should do.
Apparently, my perspective, the Secretary of State agrees with to release the report.
I don't dispute that one bit. I saw the email when it came through 100%. I don't dispute that.
So we're just hiding the report, basically.
No,
No,
that's still the
not.
town solicitor and that the town
If something
solicitor.
happens to one of the fire guys because of management policies, you guys are all gonna be held liable.
No,
It's gross negligence.
no,
You guys know.
nope,
Okay,
nope.
let's,
Madam
is there
Chair,
anything else? Yeah,
Madam Chair,
yes,
can I be heard?
yes.
I'm not going to engage in debate because this is public comment, but I do want to say that I'm cognizant of the chain of command and the process that we have to follow. But in the end, the buck stops with this board, our board. And it's strong, I'm not taking sides in this, I'm not even expressing an opinion, but there was strong frustration, not just from firefighter Whitaker, but from numerous people in the fire department on different sides of this debate or discussion. And I think in the end, we're responsible to the firefighters, to the fire chief, and to the town administrator, and to the voters. And I think there's I don't want to say what we have to do, but it's our obligation to look into this and create a path forward for the fire department and for the administration. But I don't know what else to say about it, and I don't want to debate it because this is an agenda item, it's
Yeah.
public comment, but I appreciate the opportunity to be heard.
I mean, with all due respect, Mr. Conley, we're on every single email and there has been zero discussion or anything about pushing this forward. Anytime I respond to those emails on the BCC, you're included on it, and you see that there's an advocating for, let's move this forward. What are we waiting for? So to say that it's, we can't pick and choose. You can't pick and choose when this board is going to be held responsible for something when we're not, because I think, when it comes to hiring practices, well, the board has no responsibility on that. Chief Lutz doesn't report to us, correct?
It's a strong chief law.
Doesn't report to
It's
us.
strong chief.
So, and the town administrator does report to us. And then in the past, you've accused us of micromanaging the situation, right? So now we're trying to move this forward. And now then you're going to turn around and say, well, no, really it does. Come on, let's be consistent at least.
Madam Chair, can I respond?
Sure.
I'm being perfectly consistent. I don't believe this board should be discussing this issue by email. That's, to me, our participation in that, our participation in that is violation of the open meeting law. And I think we need to do something. We are ultimately responsible to the voters for how the town runs. And there's enough frustration on all sides down there that needs some kind of mediation, some kind of leadership from this board. That's what I'm saying. I don't know what that is, but I'm saying we need to start looking at ourselves too. That's my point. And it's just an opinion.
Matt, my last email, I asked if anybody wanted to talk about this. Did I not?
Correct, but I don't know.
Zero response.
Correct.
You could have said, hey, let me
think
check
you
with
could get
council.
a response on something that there are legal ramifications.
Let me
to.
check with council. No response is worse than anything.
Wait, what did you say?
No response.
No, but before about the some will
You
council.
could have sent an email saying, hey, I'd love to talk about this. Let me check with council.
See, it's
But no,
again,
we ignore everything. We bury our heads in the sand.
again,
Kick
I'm
the
gonna
can down the
fall
street.
under that. I don't think it's my position to speak on behalf of the chief or the town administrator, because Chief Lutz is not within the board's purview, but I guess that might be changing or whatever. That's settlement, but either way.
Sometimes it flows uphill and you guys
Madam-
are at the top.
Madam Chair,
Yeah. We'll wrap this up.
I think we all agree that there are issues in that department. And I think sooner than later, the board has to take action on it. Some of the things that Justin is talking about, they're different situations, and there are things that are legal situations that have to be conducted. And when I'm sure the solicitor feels that it's the appropriate time for him to meet with us, and I suspect it would probably be an executive session, that we'll have that meeting. And again, I understand the frustration, and I've talked to some of and have bumped into some of the firefighters. I know there are issues down there, and as well as all the other board members. But there are due processes, and sometimes they're slow. And they don't happen as quickly as people would like to have them happen. But
Hopefully something happens before somebody gets hurt or killed.
And and I'll say, I wouldn't say nothing is being done, but I'm not going to use public comment to discuss it. Again, there are.
Well, my request to the board at this point is in your next executive session, why don't you talk about the DA's report? Get the DA's report, look it over, find out why. It all says it. It says it all right there. What I've been saying for years. I asked, why are we working with thieves and liars? Our job depends on trust. And I've got a guy standing next to me in a fire that stole from another guy and he got away with it. It's in the DA's report. What happened to him? Nothing. Because it's the chief's son. Shake your head, man.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I understand. I've had a conversation with the chief, and I have never read the report.
I'm not even going into the fact that it was covered up by the,
Okay,
But
but we cannot talk about this. I don't know how much clearer we can make this.
Is there
Okay,
a
thank you.
possibility to get the report? I don't
Yeah,
know where we
we
would
will
get it
review
from.
Yeah.
Corner has it.
Yeah.
Who does?
Coiner, Chief Coin. If he does.
Don't know if he's gonna release.
Right, that's,
Here we are back again.
I'll forward you, how's this? I'll forward over the link for you for the request, the FOIA request. Get it in 10 days. They actually comply with their FOIA request.
Okay,
I'll send it over.
thank you.
Have a good night.
thank you.
Next on the agenda is a joint meeting with the Bigelow Library Board of Trustees based on the vacancy. Okay. Do you want to step forward as a board?
Chairs with us.
Mhm.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, hello.
So we do have a quorum of the board here. And should we introduce ourselves individually?
Yes, please.
Okay. So my name is Gloria Parkinson, 90 Haskell Avenue.
Jill Ashton, 86 Orange Street. Christina Gagliardi, 4 Vineyard Ave.
Jacob Evans, 433 Boxwood Lane.
And we thank you for your time tonight on your agenda to hopefully resolve the vacancy issue, which I believe that Mike will have forwarded the letter of interest. Mike, is that correct?
Yes.
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 There is just one question that perhaps we're not totally clear about. Is this appointment made only up to next June? The length of the it would be renewed in 27. So if this person is appointed by the select board, we understand that you're not asked, you have the authority to do that. Is that only until June the 1st, 2026, or can it extend for the extent of what the vacancy term is? And the reason why we are asking is because somehow in the past, we're not sure how it happened. According to our bylaws, we have a 6-member board, and each year 2 members are up for re-election. And somewhere when and goodness knows how it crept in, but I think it was related to this particular issue, there got a 2-year in, and it sort of like scrambled everything. So if we could be clear about what would be going forward tonight with this appointment. So in other words, an appointed individual tonight would then have to run again in June of 26. And that would only be for another 1 year. And then then that would open up to the 3 years beyond that. So it'd be a ta-dun, ta-dun. So
Judgment call?
No, I
No,
think.
Yes, the
Yes.
practice has always been appointment is until the next municipal election
Yeah.
to serve out, then to get elected on their own by right to serve out the remainder of that term, to stay on a 3-year term for all of the turnover for the boards. So we will confirm that with town council, but that has been the practice, what we've done in the past.
okay. Thank you. We just needed to clarify that. We have met this gentleman. He did come to a board meeting last week. Did we have
Last week.
Last week, thank you. He came to part of the board meeting, and then board members, we had a conversation with him, and he had said that he wished to fill the vacancy, and then subsequently the letter before you. We were impressed. And just speaking personally, not on behalf of the whole board, the letter of interest seems to hit all the areas that the board is working towards, for all the good reasons that we serve on the library trustees board. So, and the fact that his grandmother, I mean, he has a history of libraries too, as well as that. That's so.
All right, are we voting on this?
Yeah.
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to appoint Justin Akremi to the Library Board of Trustees
Till the next municipal.
till the next municipal election.
Second,
Any discussion?
yes. How was this advertised?
It was put in the item
the-
a few
yeah.
weeks ago.
Mhm.
How many responses did you get?
We had initially one person who was interested, but then did not submit a letter. So, and then and again, sometimes it's through contacts. So this gentleman was known. we would have two Jacobs on the board.
So one? One?
One who followed through, yes.
Okay, thank you.
And it was quite a big posting that Mike put in.
It was a block,
Yeah, so the block posting with details of how to apply.
Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I,
Does this have to be a roll
A
call?
roll call? Is this-
Does this have to be a roll call or no?
I believe because there are two boards, probably should.
Just to be safe, Sean Kerrigan, aye.
Julie Bruce, aye.
Matt Kovas, aye.
Aaron Dicker, aye.
Bill Conley, I.
Do we vote?
Brother here.
Yes.
Okay. Gloria Parkinson, aye.
Jill Ashton, I. Christina Gagliardi, I.
Jacob Evans, aye.
Thank you.
Good luck.
To Jake for serving.
And thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you. All right, next up on our agenda is a Class 2 vehicle dealer license hearing for 678 Main Street. The Select Board's received an application from Eliana Mariana Condon, doing business as Mariana's Auto Sales LLC for a Class 2 dealer license to see vehicles on the property located at 678 Main Street. Hi,
Good evening, how are you?
if you could just state your name and your address,
The address for the
or
Where you live?
yeah, where you live.
678 Main
Where you live?
Street.
No, sorry, your name and what your
Oh,
address.
my address. Okay, my name is Eliana Mariana Condon. I live in Marlboro. So my address is 12 Dufresne Drive in Marlboro.
Anybody else?
My name is Alexandro Silva. I live in 12 de Fresne, Marlboro too.
Okay,
He's my husband.
great. Okay. So you're here with looking for a dealer license?
Yes,
Okay. Great. Is this a new license? Or-
Yes, yes, this is a
License.
new license at that location. It's currently vacant right now. So,
Okay,
I think there was one there previously, but there's no one there currently.
okay, thank you. All right, is there anything you'd like to say? It's a hearing, so I have a.
yeah, I want to explain to you guys about our performance.
Great.
So we will repair and maintain only the vehicles we sell. We will renovation and model the garage, and we put a new furniture, and then with painting, we make it clean and bright. So we will have some people to begin and remodeling process as soon it's the license, it's guaranteed. So our goal is begin construction immediately after approve, of course. We plan to open the dealership and full operation in January 1st, 2026.
Thank you.
Just as a note, John Hogan, by the way, I represent the site and everything.
Okay.
They've already been to the planning board. The planning board approved them for 9 cars. It's a little less than they wanted, but it's not a huge site. The site itself, we've been dealing with it, our real estate agency for quite a while now. It's got an environmental history. It's pretty much suited for automotive of some sort. It's just because of its history.
It being a hearing, I will open it up for anyone here who would like to speak in favor of this application, this license. All right. I'll close this portion of the hearing. Is anyone here to speak in opposition of this license?
The license, it's in my name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
I just, it's like, if I have to give the public an option to say they're
Oh,
for or
okay.
against it. It's a procedural thing, but doesn't look like anyone's here in opposition for it. So I'll close this portion of this hearing. I know, sorry. I should have probably explained it a little bit better, but, okay. Yeah. Any questions?
Yeah, I have some questions.
Mhm.
I'm curious, you're from Marlboro. Why did you pick Clinton?
I have to explain with that. So I am the missionary for my church. We church from New England Church. So I came to Clinton. I visit one friend. She's have a cancer, and then I have to pray with her. And then my husband stay in the car because she can't accept two people inside her room. So and then he's tired about his stay in the car for 2 hours. He's round around over here. We looked for some place for can open the dealership. So we went to Framingham, Marlboro, but when we came here, and then he's stopped by at the dealership, and then he says, it's over here. So we so excited to come over here in this. I love the city. Maybe we can move over here. It's later. So this one, it's happened.
Okay, so just, if I could just look at that. Sure. So the planning board approved you for 9. That doesn't mean that this board, I mean, it's up to the board how many they want to approve you for, but I guess if you have 9 cars, you've got here that your monthly turnover goal is 20 to 25 cars sold per month. How did you come up with that number, and how do you anticipate
You know
that you're gonna?
Okay, because at my
Because you do
church-
realize that there's a lot of second-class car dealers in Clinton.
Yes, I
You
know
do realize that.
Yes.
It's like over 30.
So, but we want to make difference.
How different is
No,
yours gonna be?
It's my difference. It's nice place, make
Well,
nice
all gonna be
signs,
nice places.
but it's clean and good. And we know a lot of people, no? At
I'm
the
sorry?
church, we have a lot of people from our church, have a lot of friends. So this one, I think we will sell. It's 9 cars for, maybe for a week.
Mention too, they've been selling online for some time.
Yes.
So it's not, this is not a new venture for them. They just need a location.
Well, they also say in here that they're going to do repairs on site as well for supposedly for the cars
The
that
cars
they're
they're gonna sell.
Only
that they're gonna
cars for
sell. But I still, I'm trying to figure out how you're gonna move that many cars if you've got 9, if you're requesting 9, 20 to 25 a month. That's a lot. I mean, I see across some, I don't know if you're familiar with the fire station.
Okay.
I think they have like 30 or 40 cars, and I hardly ever see anybody in that lot. I mean, I just want to know, have you ever been in a business like this before? Is this your first time?
Yes.
They've been selling online for some time.
Oh, online,
Yeah.
but not physical.
No, that's physical too.
Physical also.
4 years? Where? If I might ask. Where?
Tewksbury.
Tewksbury?
Yeah. I'm general manager for 4 years.
At your place? Place you owned, or you were working for someone?
No, I'm working.
Oh.
I'm general manager.
Any additional questions? Okay.
Madam Chair, I move that we approve an application from Eliana Mariana Condon, doing business as Mariana's Auto Sales LLC, for Class 2 dealer license to see vehicles on a property located at 678 Main Street in Clinton. No more than 9 for sale and 6 for employee parking.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Hi.
4-1. All right, we
Good luck.
approved it. You're all set.
Perfect.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Next we have a commercial garage license hearing.
No, no.
Sorry.
Good evening.
Hello.
Hi, the select board's received an application, oh, sorry, that's the last one. Select board's received an application from Abdella Alwicat.
Yes.
Correct me if I'm wrong, please. Doing business as Horizon Auto and Gas LLC for a commercial garage repair license on the property located at 185 Mechanic Street in Clinton.
Yes.
Hello.
Hi. So,
Oh, sorry, can you state your name and address?
Abdallah Al Warikat, 7 Dover Drive, Burlington, Massachusetts.
Thank you.
So this place has been operating for like, I think 20, 30 years. I'm just taking over the business, and I know in the past they did not require licenses for auto repair, but I just want to do everything by the book. So that's why I'm applying for the license. And there will be no changes in operation for the business. It's a 3-bay garage. One will be for state inspections, and the other 2 for light repairs.
Is John retiring?
Sorry?
Is John retiring? The owner now, is he retiring?
The owner is Maher. His name is Maher.
Mike, is he retiring?
He's selling the business. He has like, I think, 2 more
Nice.
businesses.
Nice.
Okay. It being hearing, I'm going to open it up for people who are here in favor of or opposition, so bear with me here. Is anyone here to speak in support of this garage repair license? I'll close that portion of the hearing. Is anyone here to speak in opposition of this garage repair license? I'll close this portion of the hearing. Is there any questions, discussion?
None for me.
Okay.
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the commercial garage license commercial garage license for 185 Mechanic Street for Abdallah
Al Warikat.
Hello, Whitecat.
Elocott, doing business as Horizon Auto and Gas LLC.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Opposed? Okay,
Good luck.
5-0.
Thank you so much.
You're all set. Thank you very much.
Have a good night.
You too.
Okay. We had on the agenda, Paul Mina of United Way to give us an update about the wheat construction project. And we're gonna table that till the 17th. We're gonna table that. Yeah,
He asked if we could.
yeah, yes, he
have
wants to
on
gather,
December 17th.
yeah, gather some
Thank you.
additional info and for our meeting on the 17th. Next up is the town administrator's report.
Madam Chair, I don't have anything this evening, so just going to announce some of the committee announcements coming up about the tree lighting, the library forum and holiday pops, but that's all.
Okay. There is no administrative business. Next is old and new business, construction contract award for the Main Street Culvert project to Aqualine Utility.
Madam Chair, make a motion to approve the construction contract for Main Street Culvert Project to Aqualine Utility Inc. in the amount of $888,000, $829.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 5-0. Next up is a Class 2 licensed task force recommendation.
Madam Chair, I'll just kind of take that issue as well. I think the committee was just looking for direction on the new application process for Class 2 licenses. I try to put something kind of together in a little bit of a report, quote unquote, just to kind of identify some of the issues that they were looking for. So the biggest issue they looked at was the kind of the lack of standardized licensing procedures. What the applicants have to follow between making out the application, who goes to the planning board, who doesn't, who gets a legal notice, who doesn't, who goes for a hearing, who doesn't go for a hearing. So they're just really trying to standardize what the expectations would be for an applicant and for the boards and what the guidelines are for enforcement. And that'll be one of the next bullets. So by coming up with this, the committee looked at applications from other communities. They came up with a application form that they seemed satisfied with. And that application would require that, the recommendation is that all applicants be required to first go to planning board for site plan review prior to select board, as this one tonight did as well. That they all submit a site plan with their application. We do require it for the garage licenses, but it wasn't required for the class 2 licenses. And that even existing applicants would submit some type of a GIS, not saying they have to get an engineer drawing to spend thousands of dollars, but at least do a GIS plan or some site plan to show their parking layout on the site. So we would like to have really 3-part. The first part would be for a new application that outlines the process and applicants would have to file. The second one is renewal of existing applications, that they all fill out a renewal form. So on that form, there's a checkoff box for new or renewal, and that every year people should fill out the form, update all of their business contact information, their names, phone numbers, and then the current ones for this year would be asked, and not to say it has to be right for January 1st, but within a period of time that we're asking that they submit a parking plan for their site as well. So we know how many cars are going to be on that lot, because normally they were in the past would only get approval for how many cars they could sell. But then on top of that, you have employee parking. And then a lot of these places have repair licenses. So then they have cars they're fixing and customer cars. So then the lots are getting overloaded. So the plan would be to have the application plus a site plan with a approved amount of cars that are safe to be on that lot. Both the initial was for class 2, but then also they're asking for that to take place for the garage licenses as well. So it's kind of a threefold. There's a new application, a parking plan for the existing and for the new, and a parking plan for the garage licenses. So first off was to standardize the license procedures. The second one, to have better, more, kind of stepped up enforcement. But that again comes back with expectations for what the rules are and what the licensing and how many cars they're supposed to have, and keeping the lots within the legal requirements. Thirdly, they talked about having public awareness of the process. So kind of putting the information on the town website, letting people know what they're required to do, letting know how they can get in touch to either A, go forward with a application, or B, if there's any complaints, who they can contact to follow up the complaints. And then fourth was to use technology to try to kind of streamline the licensing process and record keeping. And that is something that we have set up in the OpenGov to start using that as a way for people to apply and then go through the process of getting approvals through that system as well too. So that's kind of mostly what the committee is putting forward. So it would be asking for approval of the new license form that would be filled out by the new applicants and existing applicants, that all the new applicants be required to provide a site plan, and that the existing applicants provide some type of GIS public, not public, but parking plan. And that the under number 3, put under enforcement, more so than under licensing procedures, because it's not class 2, but under enforcement, we're trying to have a note that the commercial garage license holders will also submit a parking plan that will be reviewed by the planning board, and that the building commissioner can then use that for enforcement of the garage licenses as well. As you noted, as you can note on the current applicant that was here tonight, that the planning board in their site plan review, they did say number of cars for sale. and additional cars that can be on that lot. So the chair of the planning board was on this committee, so he was getting that feedback that, yeah, we need to kind of give the building commissioner direction on, yeah, you have 5 cars for sale, but there's 25 cars on the lot. Is that appropriate? How many cars can that lot hold? So we're trying to ask if the board would support that. And like I said, putting more information on the website and more the application process through the portal, through the licensing portal. So that's kind of a summary of what they were looking for. So, and there will be an environmental component, but that's up to the Conservation Commission. This process isn't changing any of the conservation rules. All it's going to do is we will hand out as part of the packet DEP's requirement of what a repair, a garage operation should do and how they should operate. But then that's up to the conservation as to what their current enforcement and practices that they've been doing with these licenses anyway. So this committee wasn't looking to change any of the environmental regulations.
So, would this require like it's like an endorsement? Or like, we're not really approving anything, right? Or is it just a formal endorsement?
No, it would be asking the board to, because the licensing process comes through the select board.
Yeah.
So it would really be, even though the kind of the committee had all this input from all these other affected agencies, at the end of the day, it's up to the select board to determine what the license application, what the licensing requirements are, and what the submittals will be when people apply for a license. So that's, so I think the committee was recommending and asking if the board would adopt those recommendations for the new renewal process for January.
And also, just to add to Michael, like as an example, we were only charging $50. I think it had been like that since so we went up to 200. But again, as Mike spoke to the fact that the chairperson of the planning board, our building commissioner, the people who are ultimately involved from the beginning of the process were committee members. So I think, you know, the information and the procedures that they felt were in the best interest of the town are by the people who work with this, all of the applications and site approvals and all of that things. So,
Yeah, and I appreciate pointing that out. Select board member Dicko, because I was looking at the kind of the bigger picture
Yeah.
and trying to get the licensing process squared away. But as part of that application, you'll see the draft application is putting forward a $200 fee. Again, I think the committee just felt at $50, it's been like that for 50 years, and that if $200 would make a little bit more of a commitment to applicants coming into Clinton, that, you know, that and going through the site plan review process, that at least, and they have to get a bond, that's state law, that at least, again, it's you know, proving that it's something that they're really looking to make a go of, and they don't, you know, in the past, it was very easy to come in. You could come in on a Monday, file an application, have a hearing on a Wednesday, and Thursday be selling cars for $50. That's all it would cost you. So it's just not trying to make it burdensome, but trying to get a better handle on the process, a better file on who's doing what, and a commitment on behalf of the applicant that they are committed to the long term to try to make a go of it here in Clinton. So, but that's a big jump from 50 to 200. So, yeah, I'm glad you pointed that out so everyone's aware of what they're voting for. Thank you.
How much of the proposed process could be done electronically, like online, without having to come into the building?
I think in terms of filing the paperwork,
Yeah,
that
exactly.
could all be done online. Yep, they would still, and even giving them the permit, because the permit can be done electronically as well too. They can pay online. Obviously, they would still have to come to a hearing,
Yeah.
but all the paperwork can all be done online. And then it would be set up in the process. Once it's submitted, it would go to the, you know, licensing assistant in our office, and it would go to the building inspector and whoever else needed to review it, probably conservation as well. Everyone would get a copy of it automatically. So,
Excellent. Madam Chair, I make a motion to approve the Class 2 Vehicle Dealer Licensing Task Force recommendations for January 1st, 2026.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
I,
Aye.
thanks to the commission
Yeah,
for
that's-
the doing the work. I know it took a while, but certainly worked away. I have a couple things.
Thank you for the board's support.
Next up is.
Couple older news,
Oh.
Madam Chair.
Sure.
While we're on permitting and putting on my conservation hat, I thought we talked about it at a previous meeting, but I didn't have any notes. As far as like getting checkoffs, apparently there was a building permit for a house issued on West Street that's right on that Conneprine Brook, and we just found out of the Conservation Commission, sorry, stepping back, just found out about it recently. Is there any kind of cross-checking there, or is that coming, or is there a way? It's just something the board, the other commission asked me to bring up, since it's something we should have had something to say before the house was built.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's a good point. And in terms of going forward, it certainly will be in the portal that they would get a notification. I am not 100% sure how it's done right now. I'll definitely look into that. But if a building permit is applied, and I know with Mr. Smith, who's there now, I know he works closely with conservation. So I'll ask him what the process is. But generally, if there is a building permit being requested, conservation should be made aware of it. Absolutely.
Yeah, we figured it might have been in the crossover, but going forward, if there's any kind of functionality on the permitting site where if it's a wetlands thing, or if we can just, even if Sierra can just say, no, we don't have anything to do with this.
Exactly. Even if it's just a standard, everything goes
Yeah.
there, and then they can determine whether it,
Yeah.
it is or isn't. No, 100%. I agree. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Secondly, do we have, and we don't have to discuss, but I don't know, I'd love to hear more frequent updates about our two big job searches. Town administrator and assistant town administrator. I know we signed on to extend the town administrator through the end of the fiscal year, and I'm just nervous that at the end of this year, we're at candle burning low. So I guess I'd love to hear more updates. I know there's a lot going on. And thirdly, I didn't want to discuss this during public comment, but I think we have to do something about this para report. I wasn't thrilled at the way it was released. I'm not happy. I'm not sure I'm happy about how it's being handled, and I don't know. I think we just need to figure out some way to address this, either to put it on a front burner, like the frontest burner, or figure something else out, because yeah, I think it's a serious matter that deserves more of our attention.
Madam Chairperson, I would agree with Sean, and I think that this is something that it's like a pot boiling.
Yeah.
And I think that it's going to boil over I think the board has to either, through the administrator, speak to the solicitor to see how he wants to do it, whether it be that the board meet with the solicitor and in executive session and find out what procedure we need to step forward in, can we conduct this in executive session? Does it have to be open session, or what the procedure will be? But it definitely, I feel very strongly as well that I think every party that's involved in this, I think the chief, the firefighters, I think everyone should have the due process. And I think that it really has been, like I said, a boiling pot, and I think it's ready to.
Yeah, I mean, I've asked the solicitor, like whether we should, it came out in June. I think it was fair to say, to review it and create an action plan, but I don't disagree with what everyone's saying.
I mean, I don't think it's just that report. I think there
It's
are a
collective.
magnitude of issues that
And I
are,
think there's a lot of issues in certain things, like you said, like past personnel, current personnel that are under investigation.
Yeah, I mean, we know
But I mean, I
this-
guess the scope of what's happening now.
yeah. But I think we all need that, direction from the solicitor, because
Yeah.
it's all very, I put it this way, I think we want to protect everyone's interest.
Yeah.
And so you don't want to do something that will come back to be a wrong decision on somebody's part. And so I think we should make sure that we're going to follow the procedure properly.
Yeah.
and that everyone has their due process.
And to add to that, I agree wholeheartedly with everything that's been said. The very little exposure we have to everything that's that's being brought to our attention, via email. I think one challenge that I see is there seems to be a lack of response, or there are responses that we're not included on, which is completely fine. But I think to just at least have some sort of follow up as to, responded to, this email, doesn't, without any specifics, because I think it just fuels the fire. And I think that, when people are put in these positions, to not receive any response, I find complete legitimacy in their concerns and frustrations, because I just think that, like, someone needs to take point on it, and then, just respond at whatever the fashion is, but.
Yeah, while I disagree with a lot of things that were said today, I don't think the accusation of us putting our head in the sand is without merit.
Madam Chair?
Yeah.
5 minutes.
Sure.
I agree with it, what everybody else on the board has just said. Maybe I expressed myself incorrectly during the public comment. That's what I feel is exactly what the rest of you have just expressed just now. I think we have to look at it, and I don't have an answer, but I'm glad we're all on the same page with this. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I have had, I think, numerous discussions on this topic. Maybe this is encouraging the chief to update us on where those items from the para report stand. I don't know,
And just one point that I just want to make about the para report. I know the board's talking globally here. But
Yeah.
it's just frustrating about the para report, because that process was initiated to try and help the situation down there. We gave all the members an opportunity to speak and give their opinion. So they were very open and candid, and that's what we were looking for. So now somebody wants to take that to exploit what people said and make all that public, I mean, it was trying to get an open dialogue so that the issues could be put on the table so that action could be taken. But again,
But-
it was mentioned that we're trying to protect everyone's interest. The town's interest is at stake as well. But I agree, every employee down there should feel like they're heard, but also should feel like they can say what they want and not to be used against them.
Yeah,
Correct.
yeah.
That's what
No,
I'm
that-
saying.
you
A
make a
lot
good
of
point.
this gets into the legal perspective of it. So you have to be very careful. And I'm sure the solicitor is the person that has to, as Michael, has said, you can't speak for the
You can't,
for the
yeah.
law. So, there's legal ramifications, and you got to be very, very careful.
Yeah, I mean, to that point, you're asking people to be very honest and candid, and it's kind of like taking an anonymous survey and then having it
Correct.
disseminated
It
to
puts everybody
everyone,
to me
and
at a disadvantage, because then no one is going to be honest about
right, what's
how
actually-
they feel if
Yeah.
they're
They know it's
against,
going to be.
that it's not being candid and it's just a one-on-one type of thing, that everyone has access to what the comments were. And I don't think that does anybody any good, to be
Yeah. honest
honest with you.
But Michael, you just used a word that I think action. And I think there are maybe some of the recommendations made, do you have to have a longer hurdle, to your point, Mary, of sometimes it is much harder to enact change, even if everyone wants it in a municipality. If there's
Right.
nothing I've learned in 4 years, it is a slow moving ship. But I think when the report came out, I had said to a small group, it would be helpful if we could create an action plan of what we plan to do. And I'm not really confident that happened. And maybe this is part of our continued discussion, but like the strong chief parameters you know, I don't disagree with Bill said about, kind of our responsibility on some level, but also what is the parameters of strong chief? Is it just requesting and, what is that? Like confidence, no confidence? I don't I'm not entirely sure. I'll try to ask, so.
And I think, I'm not sure what role we have as far as this communication that's incoming. Like, where do we fit into this? Because, to Mr. Conley's point, if we are, I understand that it all comes back to us, but at what, I just don't understand. It's not like the town administration is including us in this communication. It's coming from the other direction. So just because we're on it, should we be on it? And, should this be something that's communicated to us on a very, whatever the legally acceptable way for? Because I think we're kind of getting thrown into it, not saying that we shouldn't be informed on it, but I question, where do we fit into this?
Yeah, but you shouldn't be informed the way that it's happening. So you can't be saying it's violating open meeting law when you're getting unsolicited emails and you're not engaging in dialogue, and you're not asking for them to be sent to you, and it's not appropriate that they should be going the way that they should be going. So yeah, I agree. We'll have to kind of decide where it goes from here, but I don't think that the board should be in that position to be getting these emails sent to you like that.
Well, I think it would be, as you said, to me, it would be very foolish for a board member to respond to some of these inquiries and texts that you're making, because it's just, you're leaving yourself wide open. And as you said, you personally don't know where your responsibility begins and where it ends. And so you could potentially get yourself in trouble and just open up a Pandora's box. So you have to be, again, I think it's very important that this board has to sit down with the solicitor and be it if it's appropriate, and Michael, you could probably get the answer that if it's appropriate for us to go into executive session to talk about some of these issues. And it's not just this one particular report either. I know I have other concerns as well, and I'm sure the rest of the board does too, that I've been anxious to speak about. So,
Yeah. And to your point, like, it's not, you just don't have the whole picture when you're
Correct.
just hearing from one
Correct.
side. And I believe I believe I was told there wasn't really a mechanism to discuss it in executive session, but we can follow up again. I don't,
We'll have to do.
I guess we'll just make kind of like,
investigations, but it is tough. Yeah.
And I don't want to keep dragging this out. And I think part of the response piece of, by following up and asking who's responsible for this? Where's the timeline on when this is going to be addressed? I think that, there was something that came in that was, I don't know if it was responded to at town administration side, but then it just seems to it just kind of burns slowly publicly, where it's like, well, could that have been extinguished earlier with a response of, just some response? Because I thought, where there was no response, it just seemed like now there seems to be this legitimacy that really shouldn't be there. But I don't know. I agree with everything, so I'll leave it at that.
all right.
You could second guess yourself forever.
Yeah.
That's where you're at the point now. You start second guessing yourself. Could you or should you have, or, whatever, but, yeah, it is, at this point, we want to do the right thing, so.
That's right.
So
I think no
maybe
one
we
is
could just-
trying to avoid it or ever did, but it's,
Yeah.
sometimes these issues, you have so many things going on, so, it's just,
All right. So,
let's try to make it right.
yeah. We'll follow up.
Sooner than later.
All right. All right, I will follow up with the town administrator and the town council and fire chief. That's fine. Next up is community announcements. Don't see any.
We got tree lighting this Friday,
Yep.
6 o'clock
I don't know.
in the park. I believe it's 6.
I believe
It's 5.
Yeah.
I thought they moved it back for working folk.
I don't know. Let me look on our town calendar.
Holiday Pops is Saturday. They moved it up to accommodate Indiana's quest for a Big Ten championship, and I appreciate that. So I can watch the game and go to the concert. Thank you, Parks and Rec. I don't know if there's tickets still available. I know the tables went quick, but there might be some balcony seats. You can check that out on the Parks and Rec website.
Tree lighting is at 6.
Tree
On
lighting at 6.
Friday, December 5th.
Friday.
Okay. I think that is it for everything on our agenda. Yeah.
Motion to adjourn? Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Good night.
We need adjourned.